Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Jackie at All Things by Jackie. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe, and for the returnee, thank you so much for tuning in. Today's video, I'm going to be addressing few questions that I got asked as a deportee, as I was deported from Canada back to Namibia. So there are a lot of people that are curious. There are a lot of people that ask a lot of questions. Some are like good questions and some are unnecessary questions. I'm going to address all of them. And yeah, so I jot some questions down in a paper, in a rough paper, so that I won't forget. So I'll be answering few questions on what I have here. So the main question, the first question that people ask is how did you go to Canada? How did you went there? Then you explain your A, B, and C, right? And some stuff we can't, some situations you just can't up and say A, B, C, D to Z, right? You just gotta give the basic, right? Hop on the plane, go to Canada. That's it. Did you know anybody in Canada? My cousin was in Canada, but we were not in communication. I just decided to hop on the plane, and down the road I met somebody. Shout out to you. I met her. We spoke in Frankfurt, and she asked, do you know anybody? And I was like, I know my cousin, but we haven't spoke. We are not in communication. He doesn't even know that I'm coming, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. So she called somebody, and she called a friend, and a friend was like, no, don't worry, I know him, I know Condest, so it's okay. She can come, and then I can take her to Condest. But I'm too blessed to be stressing. You know, my gut always come through for me, right? So when I reached to Canada from Pearson Airport, my cousin was at the airport because his mom called from back home that I was on the way. So he went and waited for me. So yep, I had somebody, but I didn't know that he knew that I was going. How long did you stay? I stayed about 9 to 10 years. Was it fun? Best of the best. How old were you when you went to Canada? I was 21. 21. Less than 1. Do your math. Why did you go there? Why did you choose Canada? I didn't choose Canada. I just wanted to make money, and going to Canada opportunity presented itself. So I was like, why not take the opportunity if I can, right? So I just hopped on a plane and went to Canada. Mind you, I was supposed to go with au pair to America, but like I was supposed to go in December because I went to Canada in October. And then the Sunday before I went to Canada, I guess I would say, one Sunday I was at work. I was working in Checkers Shoprite in Windhoek, Maramo. I overheard a conversation of people talking about Canada, how people are going to Canada and stuff. They were the cashiers talking, and I was listening, like you know when you're listening to people conversation and you don't want them to know that you're listening, right? So I started like acting like I'm fixing up stuff in the aisles and all those kind of thing. And I overheard, no, this is A, B, C, and how that is how you go. And I tried asking, and people when you're asking them, they don't really give you brief information, right? Because by that time we had this mentality of like, no, if a lot of people go, they are going to stop. And they did stop, but after like 2.5 people went. But it was after a lot of people went, right? But then by that time when people were talking about this, there was kind of maybe 30-40 people in Canada, Hero people, or Namibian people, let me say. So yeah, I got the information somehow, and I hope on the plane I went. But that is story for another day on how I went to Canada. But right now we are not doing that, right? Who gave you the money to go to Canada? People want to know everything. People want to know your life. People want to be in your life. People want to be in your business. It's up to you to decide if you want to let them in or if you're not. Some stuff you can answer if you want. Some you don't have to answer. Like for this question, to me, it's not so bad. But there are people who get their money through their means, like through their ways. Like we hustle. Like my stepfather gave me the cash. I called him, I told him, Papa, I need money. He was like, okay, you were supposed to go to America. What happened? I'm like, no, the American process is kind of a long process than this one. And this one, I'm able to go with boyfriend boyfriend, then happy now. Okay, I'm able to go with boyfriend, so this one is easier. I want this one and the other one. And then he was like, how much is this we're talking about? I'm like, a whole 20 grand. What? And he's like, you want 20 grand? I'm like, yes. Okay, come get your money and go to Canada. Easy like that. How much time did you need to go or to make your arrangement? My arrangement was made in 1 week. My arrangement, it was 1 week. I spoke to my stepfather on a Sunday. Monday, I went to meet him. Tuesday, he gave me the money. Thursday, we bought the ticket. Monday, I hopped on the plane. It was a straightforward journey. It was not hard for me. Did you get deported down the road? Nope, I never. I just hopped on the plane, went straight to Canada, and that's it. It was just one way for me. Too blessed. Lucky. There are a lot of people that had to go like 5-6 times before they got to Canada, but they made it anyway. The main thing is to make it. You understand what I mean, right? What did you do in Canada? I worked for a couple of years. I worked for a couple of years. Then I gave birth to my girl, stayed home, maternity, sent my girl home, start working again, got sick. So I stopped working for a while, like for a year or so, year and a half. I stopped working, gave birth to my baby boy, and then I started working again. Yeah, and life goes on. How much did you save? Some questions they're like that. That's what I said. Some of the things, they are unnecessary to ask. Some are necessary. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say you stayed in Namibia for these years. How much did you make, or how much did you save in a couple of years that I was in Canada? Right? I wouldn't say that. So why do you want to know how much I saved? Like, am I crazy for thinking like that? Maybe let me know if I'm crazy for thinking like that. The phone cut off because somebody called. Like I was saying, right? Why do you have to know how much a person saves? Why do you, in the first place, why do you want to know how much somebody saved? Is it contributing to your life? So whenever you're asking this question, should be, I want to ask this question because it's going to help me in this A, B, and C. I want to ask this question because it's contributing to my life in a certain manner. If it's not contributing to your life, if it's not going to help you, don't ask. Please. If you sit and ask, right, how did you make your money? How did you get your money to go? Did you sell cows? Did you ask people around? Some questions, you want to ask to know on how to obtain yours in order to maybe to get the same experience that we did. But some, like how much you saved, I don't think. Ask me how I've saved. Yes, that is different. How did you save? That is different. You want to know the strategies that I used, so that is a different way. But you asking me how much I saved, no, that is absurd. That is not good at all. Another question is, how are you spending your savings? Again, people will be like, okay, someone will be coming to you and like, you went abroad, you made a lot of money, so what are you going to do? How are you going to like enjoy your life? Are you going to take vacations? Are you going to buy houses? Whatever I'm going to do with the money that I made, the little that we didn't make a fortune, we made just a living, right? We were just trying to make a living. We were not trying to live our dream life. Like you are trying to live your dream life, but it's not all the time that you get to live your dream life, because you never live your dream life. Life goes on. So the more you are growing is the more you are dreaming, and it's the more you are more what do I say? What is the word? It's the more you want more for your life. Let me just say like that. Like, so you never get to live in the moment, in the dream. Right now, we are just living in the moment. So that is how that is how I got to spend my saving for the past 2. I've been in Namibia now for 2 years and 3 months, I believe. So basically 2.5 years that I'm back home. Why did you come back home? Namibia is home for everybody. You can come back, you cannot come back. It's your life, it's your choice. So I came back to Namibia because I didn't have papers in Canada. The immigration said I must go back to Namibia, so I came back home. Simple as that. Why did you not get permanent residence? Not everybody in Namibia are rich, so it's the same reason that applies to the permanent residence situation, right? Not like Not everybody get it. Not everybody make it to that. If you get it, kudos to you. You are too blessed. It's the biggest blessing that everybody wants. But if you didn't get it, life goes on. You cannot meditate on not getting it because you didn't get it anyway, right? So unless you can, you have to stress about something that you can change. If you can't change the situation, just live in the moment and move on with your life. Life goes on at the end of the day. Did you forget your people back home? Never. I never did. I stayed in communication with those that were in communication before I went to Canada. And yeah, I stayed in communication with them. Those I was in communication with when I was here. A lot of people think like you're not even, some people you're not even talking. Let's say you have this family member, a friend or whatsoever, you are not even talking to them. As in, like, you don't talk. You meet on occasions. There's a funeral, there's a wedding home. You meet at the wedding, you meet at home, and then you start talking. And if there's nothing to talk about, there's nothing to talk about. And then boom, you hoop on the plane and now they want a daily conversation with you. My life doesn't work like that. If we were not talking, then I don't think it would be easier you can start a conversation with a hi and stuff, and life goes on. Eventually maybe you'll start talking, but yeah, that's what it is. How many cows did you buy? Again, none of your business. Why do you guys ask this? You know what? Let me reflect this back to one scenario, right? I was with this girl in school. Mind you, so I would say primary school. Like you guys, mind you, when I was in Okonjato primary school, junior secondary school, by then it was a junior secondary school. But then when I was in grade 8, the last time I was in grade 8 in Okonjato, it was 2001. No, 2002. 2002. That was the last time I was in Okonjato. Like, mind you, 2002. And this person that called me the last time, because I failed grade 8, right? So I had a friend that we were friends in grade 8, and then I failed, and then she moved on to the next grade. So that was 2001. So that the last time I had a conversation with this person, it was 2001 when he left Okonjato. So let's say how many years back? By mind you, 2001. You are calling me 2001 to 2021. That is how many years after? So 2001, 11, and then 21. You are calling me 20 years after. My love, you are calling me 20 years after just to find out what I did. Hello, how are you? I'm fine. No, I heard you are back home. Okay. Because, you know, before my sickness situations got out of hand, like right now I can't even do my Miss K fashion line thing, right? You know, I really like doing those things. I have my page where I used to take my orders and stuff. So this lady texted me on Facebook and she was like, hi Jackie, how are you? I'm like, oh, I'm good. How are you, sweetie? I'm good. It's somebody I know. She's not a stranger because we knew each other 20 years ago, right? So I do know her personally. Like, I knew her like from back in the days, not currently, but yeah. Okay, can I have your number? I'm like expecting that maybe she want to order something from me. So I'm a business lady, so I can't say no. So I gave her my number, and she called and she's like, no, I want to ask, I just wanted to find out about your life. I heard that you came back home. Are you married? Yes, I'm married. How many kids do you have? I'm like, I'm having 2. How old is your oldest? Your youngest? I'm like, my oldest is 9, and because she called last year, right? My youngest is 9, and my oldest and my youngest is 5. And she's like, oh, so that means you need to give birth to one more. My love, I'm not asking permission from you to give birth. I'm not asking for an advice from. In fact, I don't need an advice to give birth. I don't. I'll wake up and give birth if I want to give birth. So nobody's gonna come here, even my own mom. Nobody's gonna come here and say no, give birth. My dear, who's going to support the kid? And then she continued with the conversation. No, and also I want to know, like, what did you do when you were in Canada? How much did you save? Did you save money? Did you become rich? My love, I was just making I didn't become rich. I was just making a living. That's what I told her. I'm like, I was just making a living. Some of these, and I'm referring to this conversation just so you guys know, like, that people are crazy. People, that is such craziness. We haven't spoken in 20 years. Instead of you calling me and say, no, do you remember me? Like we used to know each other back in the days and stuff and stuff and stuff. And this is my life, A, B, and C. You are calling, or you don't have to tell me about your life anyway. You just have to call and say hi and hi. That's it. And then the next day we call, we talk about something else. And then the next day we talk about something else. And then we get to the conversation of going abroad and maybe these things. But like, even though in overall, like, you don't get to ask people what they did, how many cars they bought, how many houses they bought. What if I didn't buy a house, my love? What if I just went to Canada to explore? Maybe my parents just said, take a freaking 20,000 to go to Canada. You are too young, explore. Live your life. Don't do anything. Or what if they gave me money to go do something and I chose to do something else, the opposite of what they wanted me to do, and come back a different person that they were not expecting? Like, why is it, you know? People abstain from asking stupid questions. Abstain from those nonsense. It doesn't help. Like, and this one is coming from a good place. It's not coming from a bad place. It's coming from a good place. And the thing, sometimes you answer and then people think you are rude when you answer some questions. Like, why do you answer like that? I'm just being honest. How do you want me to answer? Well, no, some things are not to be answered like that. You just have to say A, B, and C. I'm like, why do I have to lie? I have to answer so that somebody won't ask me again. If I lie, then they will come back and ask me the same nonsense, which means I'm allowing them to do it. Don't allow people to get in your life and make you feel bad about your life. They were in Namibia for their years. They made their living. Those who got high, they got high. Those who didn't get high, they didn't get high. It's life. There are those who in Canada. There are those who made it. There are those who didn't make it. Simple as that. Same thing. Okay. Did you buy a house? Yes, I bought a house. But again, is it necessary to ask? I don't know. Why didn't you buy a house in an uptown location? Like, okay, my house is in Mondesi, Swakop, Mond. Just a local location, just like Kadutura. Basically, if somebody was in Windhoek, they would say it's Kadutura. That is what I refer to, like myself, I say it's like Kadutura. So they go like, why didn't you buy a house like in an uptown location like Simba? Like, you know, uptown. And then you're like, because I didn't have enough money and I had to provide a roof over our head. We had to provide, not me, Happy and I. We had to provide a roof over our head. So we had to buy a house where we can afford. You know, life, it's a triangle. You can't start from the top if you can't. Like, can you ever tell me a house that is built from the top? Never. You start from somewhere. So the main idea of us buying a house in a local area, it was just for us to get ourselves on a bus. That's it. It doesn't matter where I'm sitting, back seat or front seat. We are all going to reach the destination. That's what matters. So you have to understand that when you are buying a house, it doesn't have to be in an uptown location just to please people, because these people are going to make you feel like you are being a bad person by buying a house where you can afford it. Buy a house where you can afford it. Even if you can buy a house in Okakarara, like, that's it. I'm from Okwanjadu, so Okakarara is my town, you know. So if I had money to buy a house in Okakarara, not in Swakop, I would have, as long as I have something that I own for myself and for my family. I have something for myself and for my family. So I don't really care what people think. I'm not into people's mind. If you think, however, about me, my dear, that is your business to deal with. It's not mine. And this is an advice to those people that are abroad: Canada, UK, US, Australia, Sweden, wherever you are, and you speak this language, my language, Oshiherero. Please do not do something to please others, or do not want to do something to please others. If you can afford to buy a house in Kadutura, for heaven's sake, you don't even stay in Namibia. You stay abroad, right? If you have paper, you have papers. That's good. And okay, let's say you have papers and you're in Canada and you want to buy a house, and the money you have right now, you cannot afford to finance a house, but the money you have can afford to buy you a house in a local town. You can buy that local town, that local house, because this house is your asset. This house is your property. Nobody's going to take it away from you. and you're not financing it, which means you don't owe anybody anything. Let's say you're in Canada, right? You buy a house, Swakop Mondesa, where I stay, okay? And you are running, you put few, and you put flats at the back, right? And this house is now making you 10 grand a month. You are in Canada. This 10 grand, you're not going to use it. This is going to be your passive income going straight into your account. So count in a year. In 1 year, you have 120,000. Take off 2 grand for water. Electricity, usually people have prepaid electricity, so take off 2 grand. In 1 year, you have over 100,000 that you saved from buying a house in a local town. You know, it doesn't mean that if you have a house in Mile 4, then you made it, and if you have a house somewhere else, you didn't make it. Buy a house anywhere you want to buy. Don't explain yourself to anybody. That one, buying a house and stuff, people have been asking how and when and what. That's going to be a story for another video, not for this one. I just wanted to give a heads up on that. You mentioned just having a passive income, and over a year you are able to save 100, just let's say 100,000. In 2 years you have 200,000, and on the other side you are saving too, right? So let's say in 2 years you were able to save 200 in Canada, and you save 200,000 in Namibia. How much do you have? 400,000. My dear, in a couple of years you'll be able to buy a house wherever you want to buy, or you buy another house in a local town. Let's talk about houses in another video, not here. Like Tasha say, she says, oh, I need to come to your house. We haven't met. Because you love giving a lot of advice. Yes, I do. I don't know why, but that is just me. I love giving advice. I love uplifting others, and I love others to uplift me. Jackie Kaperi, that is a shout out to you. Like whenever I'm down, or whenever I know that I'm doing something that I don't know what to do, I would always pick up my phone call and say, Jackie Maki, I don't know what to do. I feel like my life is going through the drain right now. Can you help me? And then she'll be helping me out. Yeah. And then another question is, did you find 100% of what you did? No, I didn't, because life happened. And I wasn't able to save my own money. So how would I expect somebody to save my stuff? Like these things is just some situations when you put yourself in somebody's shoes. Understand that if you were not able to maintain your own 100%, why do you expect somebody else to maintain their 100% for you? They are human like you, right? Imagine you're in Canada, you're working, and let's say you say you sometimes you make a commitment. Every 2 weeks I'm going to save $500, 5,000 Namibian dollars. That's what it is. And then the 2 weeks come and you get paid, and you're like, I have A, B, and C to do, so I'm just going to save $200. And you save the $200 and use the $300. It's the same thing. When you give the money to somebody else, their intention is to keep your stuff 100%. But down the road, they are human like you. They might use A and B, but I did find stuff. I did find something of what I did, and I'm so grateful to that. 100% I'm grateful. I am grateful. What didn't happen. What happened. I'm so grateful that I was able to find what I found. By the grace of God, I had good people. Yeah, it was not 100%. It was not 50%. It was not whatever. But I'm grateful. I found something, and that something gave me a leg just to boost me, and you know. And my husband is in the house. And he think I'm crazy because I talk to myself. That's why he says, according to him. And he's making noise, and I'm recording. I don't know. Yeah, those are the kind of questions that we get asked. And please, Dali, please. Thank you. Before you ask people questions, sit in their shoes. Put yourself in their shoes. Ask yourself, like, this person stayed abroad for A, B, and C years, and I stayed in Namibia for A, B, and C years. What did I do in the period of time that they were there? Before you assume that they should become these fish rod people, you know? No, we are not. The main reason of going abroad is just to better your life. I'm not where I was 10 years ago. No, I'm not, my dear. I'm not. And just so you know, I know 100% that if I stayed in Namibia for the 10 years that I stayed in Canada, by today I wouldn't own a house. No, basically I wouldn't be where I am right now. And another thing is, right, for those who didn't do anything, or for those who didn't accomplish whatever they wish they could accomplish, take yourself, put yourself in that plane, and know that you were able to experience an experience that nobody else was able to, that stayed in Namibia. Start with, you got the opportunity to get on the plane. Who doesn't want? Everybody want to get on the plane, but it's just that they don't. The opportunities are not presenting themselves to them as they did to you. So yeah, it is what it is. You were able to live in a different country, whereas somebody else never did. You experienced to live a better life. Mind you, life on the other side, it is better than Namibia. I'm not saying it's not. Life on the other side is better than Namibia. Yes, and another question is like, would you like to live, like, if the opportunity presented itself, right? Would you like to stay in Namibia or go back to Canada? Oops. If the opportunity is presented straight to me, I would want to go back to Canada. Yes, to make money. Canada to make money and give better education and healthcare system to my kids. Namibia to live. Yes. Mind you, did you hear that? Canada to make money, provide for family, better education for the kids, better healthcare system for the kids, and myself, Namibia. Voila, for myself. For the live. Namibia is for the living people. Namibia is like, I imagine myself, sometimes I just sit and imagine myself like, oh my goodness, what if I had made a fortune in Canada? What would my life be in Namibia right now? I would be over the moon, like, that's what it is. Namibian life is very good. Life in Namibia is very, very good, extremely good. That's what it is. Life in Namibia is good. When you have money, I'm not going to lie. When you have money, life in Namibia is good. When you don't, then you don't. When you have enough to sustain yourself, like myself, I have enough to sustain myself for now. I can sustain myself. I'm fine. I cannot sleep. That's the main thing. Sustain yourself. Don't sleep hungry. Don't hustle the hustle. Do the do's. But still, not enough. If you have enough to sustain yourself, no, it's not enough. Go to Canada if you have the opportunity. Go to UK if you have the opportunity. Go wherever. Just make that money. And if you are able, the thing is that you want to sit and say, I have that 100,000 in the account, 1 million in the account that I don't know what to use it for. Invest it. You see, that's the kind of life we want. Not just to sustain ourselves, So if the opportunity is presented straightforward to me, definitely Canada is my place to be. That's what it is. Already we've been talking and talking and talking, and the more we talk is the more we want to give advice, like Tasha said. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. We are just here to make fun. We're just here to have fun. The idea of creating this YouTube channel is just for me to just have fun, enjoy my life. I love sitting in front of the camera. I love talking to myself. As I'm talking, I feel like I'm talking to myself. Nobody's watching. Nobody's asking me questions, because I get to talk and then you guys get to listen. You see, that's what it is. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Jackie again. And don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and don't forget to share it with your friends, please. And we have to do it. We are all to share, being a hero is not easy. We have to address these things of, what do you call these things? The accent? Yes, we have to address the accent. I swear to God, I'm coming back. Hey, already, thank you so much for tuning in. Bye now.